welcome to part 2. I talked way too much in part 1, so these are the remaining questions and answers that I received from you guys. So this will cover the prep process, peak week, and show day. All right, now I'm going to talk about the process. So one of the questions I got was, who chooses the bikini? Me. I chose it. So when you do this, you have a consultation with whatever bikini company you decide to go with. I went with Toxic Angels bikinis because they're just like, I don't know, the standard one that everybody uses, I guess. So I had a consultation. I don't remember her name, but with one of the girls from there. And I kind of just asked her, I was like, because it was on FaceTime, I was like, what color do you think would look best on me? Like, I don't really have a preference for a color. And then she showed me this purple one and she was like, I think this would look great on you with like your skin tone and your hair color. And I was like, perfect. I love it. I love purple. And then like everything else, like you pretty much customize it yourself. So like you get to pick like the, like, what is this called? The straps, the connector, and like, just, yeah, everything else you get to pick. Since it was my first time and I didn't know anything about it, I was kind of just like, I trust you. Like, you tell me what you think would look nice, and then you design my bikini for me. And so I shot a picture over to my coach and I just was like, you know, do you think that this is a good option? And he was like, yeah, I love it. So yeah, once I kind of got the A-OK from my coach, I decided to go with that one. And I loved it. I love the color purple. I thought it looked great on me. So yeah, I was really happy with the whole process. And Toxic Angels is like super helpful with any like questions you have, or you know, they explain everything to you in detail, so you know like what you're supposed to do like with the bikini. How do you do it with an online coach? So my coach, I literally have never met him in person. He is based in Tennessee. The way I was connected with him was through this girl that was supposed to coach me in my first bikini competition that I was supposed to do like 2 years ago. That never happened because it got canceled because of COVID. So then when I was doing this one, I was like, hey, do you still want to coach me? And she was like, oh, I'm not coaching anymore, but let me put you in contact with my coach from some competition she did. So basically, yeah, that's how I ended up with the coach I had. And most people, I would say, do it with an online coach. It's very expensive to have somebody with you in the gym every day. I don't know how people afford that. But yeah, I mean, you could get like a personal trainer to do it with you if you wanted. But I would say I loved the online process. I mean, I had weekly check-ins with my coach every Sunday, and then he would send me a new training split every like 4 to 5 weeks. It just depended on how my physique looked. I knew how to do all of the movements because he would send me demo videos with every movement, and if I had any questions I could just ask him. And yeah, it had everything laid out, like the reps and the sets that I was supposed to do. And then I also like kept track on my own. I would make like Excel spreadsheets for every block of training. And I would put, you know, like the movement and then like how much weight I did, how much weight I lifted for it, for how many reps. And I would just kind of keep track that way so that every week I could see like, okay, so I went up. This week I lifted heavier for 2 sets. This week I lifted heavier for 3 sets. So like, that's how I was like logging like my PRs and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a great experience with an online coach. Are you super hungry? Any cravings? Again, no, I never really felt super hungry. Any cravings I had were just me wanting to have like sweet potato, like the taste of sweet potato fries on my tongue, not because I was like, oh my God, I'm dying, I'm so hungry. So yeah, I would say sweet potato fries was my main craving. And then whenever my coach would give me a cheat meal, because I would get like a cheat meal like once a week, depending on if my physique looked like good, I guess. Like if I looked like I like, you know, could use a cheat meal, I guess. I would always have like an Impossible Burger and sweet potato fries was like always what I was craving. What was the hardest part of preparing for you? So the hardest part of the whole process, I would say, is just like the strain it put on my life. It sounds so bad, but I truly underestimated how time consuming it would be. I also have a tendency to like throw myself into things 100%, just like full send, like 100% committed. So in a way, like I also put a lot of pressure on myself. Like I probably didn't need to be spending 5 hours at the gym every day, but like I'm just so like kind of perfectionist in a way that I just, yeah, that's just how I am. So yeah, I mean, it was hard, obviously, like not being able to like go out with friends or like having to turn down plans and like not necessarily even because like I couldn't like drink or eat with them, because like I have no problem going out and not drinking or like going out and not eating, but just like having to be like, oh, sorry, I can't, I have to go to the gym. Like the amount of times I got invited to like lunch or like whatever, like something during the day, and I would have to be like, I'm going to be at the gym for 3 hours, so I can't come. So that was hard. And like, it just puts a strain on everything. It put a really big strain on my relationship because, you know, like my partner was just feeling like I was totally only focused on this and like not giving enough attention to him and like our relationship, which is true because like it's so intense that like, yeah, it's hard to explain unless you've been through it, but yeah, it's really easy, I would say, to get obsessive about it because you start seeing progress and you start like feeling stronger, and it just becomes like a lifestyle and almost to the point of like an obsession. Also though, like another one of the hardest parts was like just constantly comparing myself to what I knew a bikini competitor looked like. Like I would like every night I would like go on Instagram and look at like bikini competitors and just not be comparing myself, but like just be like stressing about like, am I going to look like that? Like, do I have enough time? Like, you know, like what if I'm not doing enough? And so I think just trusting the process was honestly like a really difficult part for me because I was just scared that I wasn't going to be ready in time, that I wasn't doing enough. Also that I wasn't doing it the right way. I don't know, like I just had this fear that like I was messing it up in some ways, but I wasn't. Like I was literally doing every single thing my coach told me to do and following my diet to a T. But there's still just that fear of like, you know, like what if I go on stage and look completely like I don't belong there or something like that. Okay, peak week time. I actually didn't get a lot of questions about peak week, but I am going to talk a little bit about it anyway, because it's brutal. So peak week is the week before the show. The reason it's called peak week is because your body, your physique, I guess, peaks. Everything kind of changes that week though. So you kind of get into a groove throughout the whole prep process, and then peak week comes and it's just like all jumbled. So your workouts change. You're not like doing the same like traditional like 5-day split. You're mainly doing upper body circuits and like shorter workouts, because during peak week your calories go so low that you can't really like, you're not supposed to be hitting PRs and like lifting as heavy. So peak week workouts were like literally 30 to 40 minutes, not like hour and a half long lifts. And yeah, you're the leanest you've probably ever been during peak week, which obviously aesthetically like looks amazing. But I did not enjoy peak week. I would say I did. For the first show, I enjoyed peak week because I felt like, I don't know, I had energy throughout the whole week. And then literally the Friday before my first show, I went to the gym and I was supposed to do like a run, like my run. And I got there and I felt like I was gonna throw up. And I like just sat on the floor and I was like, I don't think I could run right now if my life depended on it. Like I felt so sick and I just like had anxiety, and I think all of the like stress of the whole process finally like came crashing down on me, and I couldn't handle it. I couldn't deal with it. Because throughout the whole process, like I know that a lot of girls like experience like breakdowns and just like hormonal changes, and they're just like crying all the time and like stressed and whatever. I actually like loved prep. Like my mood was great. I was sleeping a lot. I felt like I had a lot of energy. So throughout my prep, I was fine. The day before my show, I had a breakdown. And I literally came home and just cried on the couch to my boyfriend. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. He was like, you just have one more day. The show is tomorrow. But yeah, I just couldn't wait for it to be over, honestly, because my body was just depleted, like completely depleted. That was the first show. Second peak week. Again, in the beginning of the week, had a lot of energy. I would say, again, towards the middle of the week, I started feeling the lack of calories. I remember the Thursday before my second show, I was at work and I literally thought I was going to pass out. Like I thought I was going to fall on the ground. Like I would be like standing at a table, like taking their order, and my legs were like shaking, and like my face was twitching all the time. My eyes were twitching, and not even because I was getting a lot of sleep. I think it was just my body was like, sis, give us calories. So yeah. And then during that week, a lot of people were asking me like, oh, do you like being this lean? Like, oh, it must feel so good and whatever. Like, no. To be honest, no. Like, the short answer is no. I did not like being that lean. The long answer is obviously, like, aesthetically, it looks nice, right? Like, you're like, I have abs, cool. I didn't know my body could even, like, form abs. So, like, yeah, it was fun to be like, oh, look at this muscle in my back that I never knew existed. Like, but I would take more body fat any day over the lack of energy that I had. Like, to me, it's not worth it. I know that some girls are like, I would rather look like that, no matter what. For me, no. Like I am somebody who needs to like have energy to function, and I was not functioning during peak week when I was that lean. I just wasn't. Like, I had brain fog. I could barely stand at work. I felt like I was going to pass out at any moment. My coworkers were literally like, why are you here? Like, you should be like resting at home. Like, I looked pale. Like, I did not look well. I was very unwell. So yeah, I mean, it was just too lean, I think, for my body type, like, or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I would rather have energy. And also, like, I was a bitch. Like, I was just like a raging bitch. Like, I had an attitude. I was crabby. Like, I'd rather just like be happy and energetic and have a little more body fat than be like super lean and a bitch and about to faint at any moment. So yeah, obviously, like, it was fun to like have abs for like a couple weeks, but in my opinion, not worth it. All right, so let's talk about show day. Is there a height or weight limit? No. Weight like doesn't matter at all in the bodybuilding world, because you could be like 120 pounds and like have extra body fat, like, or you could be 120 pounds and be like super lean and like muscular. So like weight like doesn't matter. It's more of like the physique that you're trying to achieve. Like, you're trying to get to like a low body fat percentage, but even that doesn't matter. Like, they don't track that for you or anything like that. When you show up though, the day before the show, they will take your height, because they need to just make sure that you're competing in the right height class. Cause it's broken down. So I was in like the 5'2" to 5'4" height class or something like that. But yeah, weight literally doesn't matter. Do you have to get a tan before you get on stage? Yes. And the reason for this is because when you're tan, when you're on stage under the lights, like it washes you out. So if you're not tan, you wouldn't be able to see like the lines in your muscles. So you need to be like super dark in order to like see like the lines, and yeah, that's why I looked like an Oompa Loompa. And the tan is like, it's gnarly. Like, it does not come off. Like, I still was like washing it off 2 weeks after. Like, it'll just like, it stays on you. So you go the day before, after the athlete check-in, you get your first coat of tan. And then the day of the show, before you get on stage, you get your second coat. And then you have pre-judging, which is the first time you're on stage. And then you have a break. And then you have to go get your tan touched up, because it's so easy to mess up the tan. Like, the first show, my first competition, literally the moment before they called my name to go on stage, I had a dribble of sweat just go down my armpit, and it was just black. Like, the tan was just running. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, right before I walked on stage. So yeah, the tan is one of the most annoying parts, but also really cool, because when you're that tan, you can like literally see all of the definition in your muscles. Were you nervous to be on stage? I was not as nervous as I thought I would be. I thought that I was going to be like a shaking disaster, but I think because I've been on stage so many times in my life, because, theater kid, I felt fine. I mean, I was shaking a little bit, probably just also because like it's cold and you're in a bikini. But yeah, no. Would you do it again? This is kind of a funny story. The whole prep experience, I was saying, this is the only time I'm going to do this. So like, I have to commit myself 100% because like, I'm never going to do this again. This is the only time, whatever. And then the second competition I did, they messed up my hair and makeup time with my stage time. So I ended up not even being on stage in the right division. So they gave me free entry into a future show. So basically I'm going to compete again because I have free entry into a future show. But also throughout the process, I kind of fell in love, and especially show day, like as much as leading up to it was so difficult and like I wanted to quit the day before. I wanted to just be like, screw this, like I'm never doing this again. And I just like hated how I felt like peak week. But I love being on stage. And this, to me, this sport is like the perfect blending of like the things I love. I love like dressing up and like the glamour of like being on stage and like the almost like pageant quality of competing. And then I also love that it's like fitness. Those are like my two like favorite things because I used to compete like as a cheerleader, so it kind of like reminds me of that. And I also used to be on stage a lot, like in theater, and I love working out. So it just like perfectly like blends like everything that I love. So yes, I'm going to do it again. I just need to decide if I want to compete in bikini again or if I want to compete in wellness, which is a different category. Yeah, I haven't decided yet. But basically right now I'm just like trying to grow, trying to build muscle so that I can come back better next time. What's the hardest part of show day? Okay, I would say the hardest part is probably just like knowing that you're so close to being able to eat whatever you want, but you're not there yet. Like literally the night before my second competition, me and my best friend were in the hotel room. And we literally just stayed up all night on Instagram looking at food, like different food blogs and like foodie Instagrams, and just like fantasizing and drooling over everything. And like we had picked up muffins for like after the competition to eat, and they were in our room and we were just staring at them like, ooh. So yeah, I would say the hardest part is like being so close to sweet potato fries, but not there yet. Yeah, but overall, it was fun. I would recommend doing a bikini competition to anybody who wants to challenge themselves, wants to see what their body is capable of, and like has a passion for like lifting and fitness. It's a great way. I will say this, it is a great way to get to know your body. I feel like I have a much better and deeper relationship with my body, and I know it a lot more. I'm like, now I know like, okay, this is how carbs react in my body. Like this is what too much protein does to me. Like I just know myself way better now, and I'm so grateful for that. I feel like the tools I learned throughout the process about food and training and just everything are things that I will carry with me into like whatever my next fitness goal is. And also just through life, like I just feel like I have a way better balance with food and everything now. So yeah. Okay, guys, I know that was a lot of information. If you have any other questions or want me to do a video about any other part of the process, let me know in the comments below. I will probably be doing a video soon about what I eat in a day on my reverse diet, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm reversing out of my competition diet so that I don't just binge and gain all the weight back. I am slowly adding calories back into my diet every week and cutting back on my cardio, obviously. So yeah, let me know if there's anything else. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.